Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the On Your Way podcast. I am your host, Darla Bonk, CEO and founder of Darla Bonk Consulting. And in each episode, we help you overcome the obstacles that are in your way so that you can get on your way to building and living the life you love. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about getting on your way to love, leadership, and legacy. So let's get into it. So I was talking with some clients last week about the start of 2025 and where they're wanting to go and how they're wanting to get there. And it really took a deeper turn in all of them to the personal side of the house versus just the business side of the house, because we've been really pounding the business side in Q4 to make sure that they are setting up their businesses for Q1 and 25 to be successful. And we really got to talking through what does this personal growth for them look like when you become established, you've got a business, you've got employees, you've got revenue, you've got profitability. What's that next iteration of growth look like for you as a leader and as a legacy leader? And we got to really talking about not just the content of what we're teaching and training, but the context and the experience. And what do we want people to feel when we are around? And what do we want people to see when we are around? And how do we want people to be heard when we're speaking with them? And what does that really look like? And how do we really pull from within and clarify those intentions? So I'm going to go through some subject buckets, and then I'm going to give you some questions for each of these subject buckets. So the subject buckets are your faith, your family, fulfillment, finance, future, fun, yes, different than fulfillment, freedom, and fitness. And a lot of this is not just about finding, rest and refuge and retreat and refueling those batteries, but how do we really transition all the efforts we're putting into the businesses into our families? And how are we transferring all the things that we live by in our faith and applying that to our finances? And how are we, trying to set up our bodies to, be these fitness, bodies? And how does that translate into really fulfillment? And so here's some questions that I want to ask you about in each of those categories of family, fulfillment, finance, future, fun, freedom, fitness, and faith. Number one, where are you in each of those categories? When you think about faith, when you think about family, when you think about your finances, when you think about being fulfilled, where are you right now today? Where are you right now today? And you may even want to, sit down and fill this out on a piece of paper or write this out on your computer. And then the next question for each of those is, okay, here's where you are, but where do you want to be? Where do you want to be in each of those categories? At the end of 2025, what do you want your finances to look like? At the end of 2025, what does fulfillment mean to you? What will have made you fulfilled in 2025? Because believe it or not, oftentimes it's different than fun or the family or the faith or the finances or the business. What's that going to feel like? What's that going to look like for you? Why do you want that? Why is that important for you? Number 4, how will you get there? How will you get there? And then number 5, what do you need to achieve it? What do you need to achieve it? So if you look at this, so let's say, let's go to finances, an easy one for all of us. Okay. Where are you right now? When you look at not just the money in your bank account, but when you look about when you started the business, what you wanted to be able to do, not just the freedom, but you wanted to be able to go on those vacations. You wanted to be able to travel. You wanted to be able to do these special things for your kids, for your wife, for your husband. What does that look like for you right now? And what do you want that to look like the end of 2025? Where do you want to be? Why is that important to you? Why is that important to you? And how will you get there And then what do you need to achieve it? What do you need to achieve it? Because here's the thing that will help you all when you're going through these list of questions with each of these subject buckets is you need to be getting on your way or making steps every single day to a peaceful life, a somewhat predictable life that can produce a predictable outcome. And ultimately, what does that do for your business? It can impact your profitability in your business in a big and tangible way, right? So when we're looking at this, I want you to then think about what are the commitment barriers? What are your commitment barriers? What are the things that are keeping you in each of those buckets that you're looking for? So let's go back to fitness. What are the commitment barriers? Because there's going to be those days where the motivation isn't there and you're going to have to still show up. Is it so that your kids don't have to deal with health issues from your parents that you're having to deal with? You don't want them to have to face that same thing with you? Is it so what's the commitment barrier? What's keeping you? Because you're not motivated. So what's keeping you from showing up to that commitment every day in that area? And what do you need to do to overcome that? And what resources or what people do you need around you to keep you accountable so that you can keep going, so that at the end of this year you know what you want, you know why you want it, you know how you're going to do it, you know when you're going to do it, you know where you're going to do it, and you can look back from 2025 and say that you did it, or at least you moved the needle in forward momentum, right? So this is a great exercise for you, and for you even to take with your leadership team in those buckets of faith and family and fulfillment and finance and future and fun and freedom and fitness, and ask them, where do you want to be? Where do you want to be? Where are you right now? Where are you right now? And where do you want to be? Why do you want it? Why are those things important to you? How are you going to get there? And then what do you need to achieve it? And my friend, if you can implement any of this today and start to really put a plan in place and execute consistently so that you can find that peace and that predictability, which will lead to some profitability for you and your business, then you are already on your way to building and living the life you love. All right, my friend, take care.